Green light, go, go, go.
I hope everybody can hear me out there. Make a few laps. That's good. Appreciate. Let me know. Appreciate that. So, having some issues, unfortunately, with the Porsche ever since this update, and of course the new Porsche, which I don't think it's. I think it's just mainly the update. And I got some, you know, I'm things I like about the update, things I don't like about the update. But one thing I definitely don't like is I just can't get a handle on this Porsche, and it's like one of my favorite cars, and unfortunately I don't even really enjoy it anymore. And it's a shame because I love the car, but it's just the way the performance and the driving of it. So I'm trying to see if I can improve upon that. Yeah, unfortunately, it's, you know, I'm sure it's, you know, some of it's me. But I just don't, some of the things that are with this update, I don't understand. It really just doesn't make sense to me with the Porsche I'm talking about. You got a 992 Porsche is better balanced than the older Porsche as far as front to rear. I mean, you can almost consider it a mini RSR. I mean, the motors move forward a little more. It's different angle. I mean, it's the whole package. I mean, it really is a mini RSR. And, you know, they went kind of that direction with it since they're not going to make the RSR anymore. So the balance should be better. But yet, when you do a race, a run, you absolutely just burn off the rear tires. You can't keep rear tires on the car. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So even if you get the car dialed in good, I mean, you got the balance decent, you got the car, you know, decent. I mean, after you run about, you know, 20, 25 minutes, the car is total junk.
This has been your personal best.
So, I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense to me as far as the way they have it. Get a tire. Just want to do a few laps to get a reading.
This has been your personal best.
Hey, Joe Blow, how you doing? No, I didn't hit that right. Looks like tire pressures need to go up. I have a league race. Go in the pits. Cat keeps hitting the microphone. But I have a league race coming up tomorrow here at Spa on the Porsche. So I'm trying to see if I can find some pace with it. And of course I have my real important league race at in E-Seniors in the Lamborghini, and that's at Mount Panorama. So I got to work on that too sometime today. Start working on that. Doesn't feel too bad, to be honest. Just needs a little bit more pressure. Feels pretty balanced. You can see the tire pressures. I mean, they're almost identical as far as the rear to the front. So I think it's about the most balanced I've had it. I was working on the setup earlier. You see tire wear looks pretty good. Again, probably could do some more tweaking on it. It feels pretty good. My problem, I've been just average at best here at Spa, but I mean, the problem is this Porsche has got me worried because I can't keep a pace in it. This thing is like a Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, really disappointing to me as far as really the biggest disappointment I think I've ever had so far with ACC is just, the update has been good in so many ways, but then in other ways it's been bad. And it's just, I've lost the feel for this Porsche. And it's like I said, it's probably one of my favorite cars. So I'm trying to see if I can improve that. I'll go with that. Look at a lap. The biggest thing is like I said, I was doing some testing earlier, getting this set up, doing some adjustments and getting a set up for the Porsche here at Spa, and it just, again, the rear tire wear is pretty bad. So it's got me very nervous as I'm going to go, you're going to do a stint, and then time you do about 20 minutes or so, the thing's going to end up falling off a cliff. So I don't know if it's just the update in general or the tire up or just the tire model or the new tire. I really don't know. It's just all guesstimates from me, but I just know I don't like it as far as the Porsche is concerned. Yeah, it looks pretty stable. I mean, it feels good. But that's the problem is you almost got to sacrifice drivability and you got to sacrifice performance just so later on you can actually not wreck or still stay on the track, or it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's me just missing something. That's why I'm just looking for, see if I can find something that will not wear the tires so dramatically. And I wanted to mess with the BMW because I drove it last week and was really surprised. It just did not drive the same to me. And I know they just did a small little hot fix, and I'm wondering if that's going to help the Porsche, but that's another thing. I mean, they all lost some weight. A little bit of, the Porsche, I think, lost some weight. So did the BMW. And when I drove it last week, it did. It felt heavier. It felt lethargic. It just didn't feel the same car. And of course, this Porsche, hasn't felt right to me at all. So again, maybe that'll help as far as that goes. The BOP adjustments. Again, guess we'll find out. But unfortunately, it's just I'm not looking for, I've never, like I said, I've never been super strong here. I mean, I'm okay, and usually my strength here is my pace as far as overall. The last race I had here was in the the older Porsche, and a lot of other people were in the same pace. But then I started making up positions later in the stint because the car didn't was holding its own all the way through, and other people were just completely losing their pace. So again, that's usually where my strength is here at Spa, which is I wish it was better, but usually that's where my strength is. But now with this car, I don't even, I mean, that's where I'm kind of nervous because I'm not going to have, my pace. And on top of that, it's going to fall off. I mean, I'm going to be in pretty big trouble. So, um, trying to change a few things up on the setup. Um, and another thing is I'm not happy with the force feedback either. I don't know if anybody else has tried it. Anybody else got any comments about that? I've been trying different settings on my force feedback now. I haven't really talked about it, but I have been doing that for the last probably about week and a half. I'm just trying different force feedback settings to go along with my setups, just to keep changing it because especially in the slick spots of a track, it feels so numb. It's like you have nothing. So I'm trying to get the force feedback and not go off of what a lot of parameters are. I'm just going off of whatever I think feels the best to me. And I know that's very subjective, but I'm just trying to um, see if I can find some more detailed force feedback. So I've been trying a lot of different settings. So I'm also in a lot of experiments with that too. Again, I didn't have any of these issues. I never hardly would touch it with the old update, but ever since this new update, it's really changed a lot on how the car feels. So, and some of that's good, and some of that's not so good. So, um, to go over the setup, again, a little bit less negative camber than I usually run, but Spa usually likes that going up a Rouge, so it doesn't, I don't think, hurts. I'm also running a little less caster than I usually run. Um, I was doing a setup yesterday that seemed like it really well, actually, it came out today. The AMG at Nürburgring. I did that, and um, it seemed to help a lot at Nürburgring. I only changed like two things, and one of them was caster. I lowered it way down, and the car picked up instantly. So again, I'm trying that. I'm gonna try to run a lot less caster. Um, hey, Butter Biscuits. Hey, Dark Knight. Yeah, I mean it is different, and and like I said, in some ways it's not bad, but in other ways, I don't like it. So again, but that might be me. That's why I don't really like to put it out there for everybody as far as it's ACC, or if it might just be in my settings. But I know that I don't like the feel of it sometimes, and I'm trying to get every nth of feel out of my force feedback so I can tell what the car is doing or not doing as far as the front end, especially the front end, the rear end. Anything I can get, any information I can get to me helps me diagnose what the car is doing or not doing. So I'm trying everything. I'm throwing the whole kitchen sink at it as far as I don't care what they say settings are good or bad or whatever. I'm going usually one adjustment at a time and just trying to see go until I like it, or then it goes bad and then go back and stuff like that. So I've been actually working at it for about a week and a half. I think it's a little better than it was, but I'm still, not, I still want more improvement. Fuel load. Well, I mean, it always makes a difference, but see, again, it's like the exact opposite from before. Before the old Porsche, in the old update, I mean, it's when the fuel came off, the car went into a major understeer because the front end's lifting up. That makes sense. But now it's not that way. The fuel lifts off the front and the car goes in, once the rear tires wear, it goes into a major oversteer. So it's completely switched 180 degrees, and it makes it to where you can't even drive it. So if you have the car set up pretty neutral, or maybe even a tad on the, reactive side, or not oversteery, but just very reactive, by the time the tires fall off, you can't even hang on. I mean, the car is just literally like, it's like you're driving slicks on water. I mean, and this is what I mean. I mean, look at this. I mean, look, those laps I just did. I mean, look at the difference front to rear. Now they're wearing very good across, very good. But look at, I mean, I only did like 3 laps. And I mean, look at that already. That should be after like double that. That should be like that should look that way after like 6 or 7 laps. But instead, it's like 3 laps and it's already got the wear on the rear is dramatically more than the front. And that's the problem. And I just don't agree with that, because I don't know why would the Porsche, it doesn't have a heavy engine, it doesn't have the V10 like the Lamborghini or the Audi does, but yet it wears the rears like nobody's business. I don't, if that's the case, why isn't this thing a monster down the straightaways? If it's got that much power to burn the rear tires off, why isn't this thing like the fastest car down the straightaway? It doesn't make sense to me. That's the way I consider it. And to me, they take the Porsche that was a really great car to drive, fun, and decent, still not the OP car, but it was still competitive. But now it's just, for me, it's really hard to even enjoy the car. And it's a shame, because it's a beautiful car, sounds great. I love driving it, but it makes it no fun when it acts the way it acts. Yeah, and I mean, I don't, I don't understand why. And I wish I could talk to somebody. I wish I could talk to Kunos or to talk to Aries about that or whatever. But I mean, I'm just a little peon. So I mean, I don't, what I think is, like a butt. Everybody's got one. So just my opinion. But, I have a lot of time in the Porsche. A lot of time. And it's not like I'm not, somebody probably call me an ACC fanboy, probably. But if it isn't right, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to, if something doesn't make sense, I will say that, no matter what it is. And maybe it's just me with the setup. So that's another thing. That's why I'm trying different things, trying to see if I can, do something easier that's on the rear tires, or, but I just don't understand why I have to do all this when other cars don't have the same issue. Other mid-engine. I mean, you got cars that got a big old heavy V10 sitting back there, whether it's the Audi or the Lamborghini, they don't have these issues. So I don't understand why this car has these issues. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I thought, well, maybe they took the weight off. They took some weight off the car in this little update, so maybe it would be easier on the tires, but it don't look that way, as I just showed you. We'll see if I can do a little bit longer run here. See what the tires look like. I mean, the car actually feels, pretty good for me for here at Spa, but that don't mean squat. 20 minutes or so down the line, when the thing I can't even hardly keep it on the track. And I got, like for Stu, I do setups for him for the Porsche, and I mean, we're in the same league, and I feel bad because, like I did for Monza, I mean, the car was no good. And I'm trying not to have that again for the race we have this week here at Spa. It's got good speed. I mean, I can't remember what the other speed was on the other. I think it's like 166 or something like that. I thought that was actually pretty decent. You know, the thing is, it's not like Kuno's hasn't had something backwards before. So I mean, I'm not trying to blame anybody, but I just wish they would take a look at it. Because, it's, like I said, they've done some stuff before in the past with things, and it was backwards. So, I mean, how does the car have fuel in the front, which is the same, you know, typical Porsche, and you burn fuel off and the car gets so loose that you can't even keep it on the track? I mean, how does that work? I mean, the car's going to raise up in the front. It does. Not now. It's not as bad as the older Porsche, but it still raises up in the front. So how in the world does it go from that to being mega oversteery? I mean, to where the car is absolutely just, you can't even hardly drive it. I mean, it should be like the older, it should be going understeery, not the other way around. So I don't know. Like I said, it's got me very confused because it doesn't make sense. Hopefully the pressures will be better. And of course I got to try to, I'm not going to do it on this live stream. I mean, I'm not planning on it because I got this and the BMW I want to mess with at some different places. But I also got to get that Huracan Evo 2. I got to work on that at Mount Panorama, and so that's going to be interesting because that's not a straight, you know, that's not a top speed car. So I got to, that's a real important because I'm doing good in that league. So I got to really find some pace. I mean, the only thing I could say with the Porsche is, just got to turn the TC2 up to save the tires. I mean, I don't know. To me, that's a Band-Aid. So, I don't know. That to me is, I mean, that's something you can do during the race, but it's not really a fix. This is the stuff that takes a lot of time. That's wide open. I don't really want to take too much out of it because it has a teeny bit of understeer going up through there, and any more, and you're going to end up not making it. My problem corner right here. Now I turn some brake bias down on it here to also see how it reacts with that.
Radar main, this has been your personal best.
See how consistent it can be. And that's why you probably haven't seen, I haven't really been in the Porsche hardly at all. Other than my league, which now, in some ways I wish I never even picked it. But, I mean, and that was usually my go-to car, but it isn't now. And I really would like to fix that because I mean, again, I love driving this car. Well, at least I did. But ever since the new one, and I don't think it's the new car. I think it's something to do with the update. I don't think this car should drive better than the older Porsche, not worse. Pressures are a teeny high, but no big deal. That's pretty consistent. Turn the brake bias down a little bit. Yeah, you got to turn in real early there to get it right by the curb because it just has that touch of understeer, which I don't like, but trying to be on the conservative side on the setup part, so I know what it's going to do. And I'm not even running a lot of brake bias. I mean, I know a lot of guys that, you know, run a ton. I don't like it though, because it feels like the front end gets numb when you run a lot of brake bias. You know, to the rear, it acts like it starts getting really numb in the front. You got to just hit that just right. If you hit that curb, I wouldn't think it makes a difference, but when you just touch that curb, it seems to slow you down. Dang. Yeah, it did seem like with this last little update, this hot fix, they did a lot of weight changes and stuff like that, but probably just for Kalami though. I mean, since they have BOPs at every track, you know, specific. And tires will come back down. That's good right there. You always can tell if it go through that last corner there, if it runs wide, it's understeering through there, no good. Should be able to go through there flat-footed and it not run wide. Yeah, see, that's right there. Yeah, I turned in too early that time. But still, it's in bounds. Just lost a little time. Trying to push it. Too wide. That's better. That's good. Feels a little looser, but you feel the back end is kind of sliding a little bit more than it was. They got on the curb that time. Too deep. Gone through a little over half of the fuel. Started with 60 liters. That's better. Yeah, that was better. Didn't hit the curb that time. Tires look pretty good. Yeah, you can feel the back end sliding. Hope everybody's doing all right today. Appreciate you stopping in. It's definitely not stopping real good. See if we can see how far we can come to our delta. That was really bad. It's the back end. The front end feels like it is understeering some, and the rear end feels like it's oversteering. That makes it for a wild ride. And I guarantee it's because the rear tires are worn. Let me go up on my brake bias and see. Yeah, I can see it feels like it's understeering some going into the corner. Let's go back to the original. Yeah, see, I've dropped a bunch. Okay, well, we turned the brake bias back to the original. Let's see what it does. See if the back end stays where it needs to be. So far, not too bad. It definitely feel like it's sliding though. But it's better than it was with a lot of brake. Yeah, see, look at that. Look at that. Good night. I got less brake on it now than I did. Yep, they're done. Rear tires are done. All right, let's try the, I went up to 8 on the TC2. Let's see if that helps at all. Still goes up a rouge okay, so that's good. Just gotta, again, turn in a little bit more aggressive towards the curbing. But you get all these other sections and it just, yeah, I'm really tentative going through there. Yeah, I'm just catching it all the time. I mean, I guess it's maybe a little better than it used to be, but it's still a handful. It don't stop good at all. I mean, better, still about a half a second off, which is not terrible for the end of the fuel, but maybe a little over that. Let's see how many laps we did. Yeah, it was just about a whole fuel run. Yep, definitely. Take a look and see. You know, and that's the thing. Once they start sliding, then it's just, it makes it even worse because the more the car slides, the more the tires get heated up and the worse they get. And it just feeds on itself. So I got light graining on the front, but I mean, look at the rear. Look how far the rear is worn compared to the front. Now, see, if these were near that, let's say these were like 2.5 or something like that. Let's say they were a full point up, like 2.45 or something like that, they probably wouldn't be near as bad. The car would not be oversteery coming out the exits. But see, light graining, that's not that bad. I don't mind that after a 30-minute, almost 30 minutes, basically. Um, but I don't understand why the rears wear so much to the fronts. And I mean, it's not like I got, you know, the brake bias is super aggressive. It's, I got it at 55. And if you take the car and say, okay, well then, you know, if anything, I wish I could get a little bit more aggressive with the setup. If I take more out, well, then it's just going to get slower all the way through. So, I mean, it's like no matter what you do, I mean, that's a good happy medium there, but I mean, it was still understeering corner entry. So, which you have to have, because if it didn't, the car would probably loop. You probably lose it because the back end's coming around. So it's a weird feeling because the car is understeering and then oversteering. It understeers going in and oversteers coming off. So yeah, I mean, it's just that they're so far apart. Where if you look at the first set, see, that's the way I like them. I know that's the beginning. That's only a few laps, but I mean, you see how close they are. The wear is, you know, fairly close. That's why I like to keep it fairly close. And then you go to the same setup, same settings, but a longer run. Now you can see here, this is good. This is not this. The fronts look pretty good, but then you go back here and look at the difference between the outer and it's probably because it's sliding. That's what I'm thinking. The car's sliding in the back, so that makes the inner and the outer more drastic. I mean, there's only 6.6 of a difference between the inner and the outer here, and only zero point 0.8 here. But here, you're looking at 1 point, like 1.3, 1.4, no, 1.4 here and 1.4 here. So that's like double what it is inner to outer on the top. And that tells you that the rear end is sliding. Now again, I'm not saying it shouldn't do that a little, but I just think it's over excessive. I mean, I don't, it's, with a 9 wing I mean, I don't want to get so aggressive or so, not aggressive, but so, what should I say? So on the safe side that the thing is, I mean, I don't even have enough pace now. I really need to be faster than this. But that's the point. I mean, the faster you go on the front end, the slower you're going to be on the back end. So, I mean, it's like damned if you do and damned if you don't. And that's what I don't like about the Porsche. That's what I think is wrong. I don't agree with it. Oh, Motec looks pretty good, except for the rear here. That looks a little off. That looks good. That looks good. These look good. Yeah, these are a little off, but the rear end's a little off. So that could have contributed a little bit. There. But you can see I even keep it. I even pin my Fanatic down here in my taskbar, and just so I can go back and make some adjustments on my control panel to do different settings, to try different stuff, because it's just trying to find um a happy medium, or trying to see if I can get any more force feedback through there. So you see, I do a lot of. The only way you're going to find out is experiment, I guess. So that's, unfortunately, that's the only way you can do it. But as far as this goes, there's really nothing. If I take ride height out, then the car's really going to push going through Rouge. And the thing is, that's not going to help anyway, because if you take ride height out, then basically it's going to understeer even worse on corner entry. So that's not the answer. Um, if anything, it could go up probably one. Yeah, probably could go up one to have a little bit more corner entry, because it's understeering some in corner entry. As far as the coming off, I mean, you could take some of the bump stop rate out. I mean, that might help a little bit, but again, that's a small adjustment. I'll increase the range, see if that helps at all. You could take some of the anti-roll bar off, but it's it's fine in the beginning. It's just later in the stint when the tires are worn. So I don't have a lot of brake bias. I mean, I could put that up, but it already doesn't stop the best now. So I really hate doing that also. And as far as electronics, the only other thing you could do is turn up your TC2 higher. So again, that's probably going to hurt you. Let's take the ABS. I'll knock it down to 3. Maybe that'll help with the brakes. Maybe the ABS is being too intrusive. So we'll knock the ABS down. That might help a little bit. I mean, you can go like this and go like that and see if that helps with the wear on the rear tires. But of course, the thing I like about this is you can change this while you're running. So if if it's the pace is off, or you don't like the way it's reacting, you can just change this back, while I'm going down the track. So that's why I like doing stuff like that, because that can be changed on the fly. Uh, well, I mean, it could, as far as the ride height in the rear, but I mean, one click. I mean, it's mainly ride height in the rear is going to make the car react faster on turn in. But it's not going to really affect it as far as the coming off the corner, and that's where the car's oversteering. So, um, like I said, mainly the bump stop rate or range. Try to back off on that. That might, and of course, the spring would also do that also, but it's already down. I mean, heck, I'm already way down to 162,000. I mean, that's pretty low as far as the spring rate is concerned. So, I mean, that's another thing that would help as far as lowering it down. If you had a high spring rate, if I was up here, then yeah, I could see going down. That would help it as far as it being slidey like that. Of course, I got enough wing. I really don't want to add more wing to it. That's just going to slow it down even more down the straightaways. I mean, again, I know it's going to drop. It's just a matter of managing it so where you're not totally vulnerable. I mean, because if you're sliding all over the place, if somebody's behind you, you're making it easy pickings. I mean, they'll pass you without even you know, because you're just trying to fight to keep the car on the track, let alone stay in front of somebody. Oh, let's watch a couple laps. I mean, that was just a bad lap there, but that's where I had to make some adjustments. But I mean, again, you had to make some, I had 2 laps that were awful, and then I brought it back down to, not too bad. So that's the thing. I got to watch it to where, I don't like that. That can kill you right there. So laps like that'll just kill you. See what kind of speed it has. It's going through a Rouge. Dude, they're pretty decent. Under 65. This is where it struggles. It struggles through here a little bit. Maybe I'm not as aggressive enough through there. That's another thing. I'm trying to go up a higher, in a higher gear because, again, if you can carry the momentum in a higher gear, it's easier on the tires instead of trying to, rotate the world, so to speak, in a lower gear, trying to get, so if you can carry momentum and carry it in a higher gear, it's a lot easier on the rear tires and you're faster anyway. So that's what I'm trying to really work on. But yeah, I don't see it locking up nowhere. So definitely need, lowering ABS might help it a little bit with the braking. Let's look at the, let's look at this last lap. I just want to see what the speed is down the straightaway there to see how much it's, Oh, hey, look at all that junk all over the car. Oh, that thing's dirty. So, same speed, so that's good. I was kind of curious because since the front end's coming up, I was kind of curious because it's got the same speed, so that's kind of good. It's not losing that, even though it's losing grip. The bad thing is right here in this double left, where it's always a problem. You get a massive understeer and then a massive oversteer. So it's kind of a little bit of a hairy place right here. See, it just understeers. But it didn't do so bad that time, probably because I had the TC2 turned way up. So again, that might be something I have to do, but it's one of those things. So Dark Knight asked about Motec. Well, I mean, let's go back. Let's see what he's. See what we're looking at here. So when you say to fix that on the left rear, I'm not really sure what you mean. Like this here? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, they're both the same, but um, the left rear. I mean, actually, this isn't real bad, but I did adjust it. It was still, but this was definitely way off. Now, again, a lot of times this is just me guesstimating, but it seems like when it does this spike like this, I think it has something to do with the bump stops. Because usually I've messed with the bump stops and you'll see that drop. Um, so I'm thinking that the bump stop is hitting the bump stop and it's popping up and it's showing on here. So that's another reason why, and it could be the rate or the range. So that's another reason why in the back I increased the range. So maybe this would come back down some. And I did make a big adjustment as far as the shocks too, drop them way down. So hopefully maybe it would make a difference. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure. Which a little bit is okay, but a big spike like that, I don't I don't like that because again it could be because the car slid. Um, let's look at another lap. Let's see, like let's look at the fast lap. Let's see, it's not as bad, but it's still there. So, um, yeah. So again, I usually means a bump stop got involved and you get that spike. Because in the past, I've gone the other way and then I see it usually start to come back down. So that's why I did make an adjustment on that. I opened it up a little bit more to see if I could get it to come back. And also I made an adjustment on the shock. So again, you just try that and see if it will improve. If it's a little bit, it's not that big a deal, but I really don't like it when it is a big spike like that. But yeah, they were pretty far out as far as uh, the numbers. Because as you can see, I mean, that's 52, 53. That's 52, 53. So again, that's pretty far out. And this is all jacked up. So again, made a pretty big adjustment on the rear shocks. That might help some, but which I might try again later. Again, I try to manage it because I don't want to wear my arm out completely. So something, and of course I want to be able to give it a push it as hard as I can. So that's probably all I'm going to do on the Porsche for now. I'll probably come back to it again. I mean, my race is until tomorrow, so I'll probably come to it, back to it, and see if I can do some more work maybe later tonight or. But I'm just trying to communicate some of the issues that I'm having with the car. Um, I sure wish I had a Kuno's ear, as far as you know. I'm not saying it shouldn't wear the rear tires. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it should be the worst. I mean, it's literal and actually, you look at the front engine. Actually, the front engine cars have the advantage because they're even wearing the rear tires more than the front. But it's almost now to where it's perfect because their front engine. So now you have the rear engines or mid-engine. I shouldn't say rear engine, but like mid-engines, like even the Lamborghini, the Audi, the Ferrari is really good. I mean, you got all these cars that have excellent wear, and then you get to the Porsche that has a little engine, no turbo, and it wears the rear tires the worst. I don't get it. It's very confusing. I can understand it wearing the fronts once the fuel comes off, but and you can see that here. So we had 9 at the end there. When I stopped, I had like 9 liters. So you see we're at 54 and 60. Well, I was 62, but 54 and 62. So let's put 9 liters in it. So see now it's still, that's never going to move. And it's up to 56. And the front air variation is a 7.1 to the positive. So that's 7.4 is what it is now. And now 7.1. So again, that's not bad. That's not terrible. That's a lot better than the old Porsche, and I think that's because the weight balance of the car is a lot more balanced than it used to be. So compared to, and that's why I say to me the car is better balanced. So why does it shouldn't it wear the tires even better? I don't know. It's got me totally. So of course you go all the way down to like 5 or 3 or something. Still stays at 46 or 56. I mean, so that's good. That's only a couple. That's only a couple clicks up. So that's probably why the speed was not that bad down the straightaway there on the last lap, because the front end's not coming up as bad as it used to. So, of course, I'll make this is set up. Well, see again, like I said, it's I'm guesstimating, but it's just I've seen that before. When that big spike hits, it what it does is it affects the shock itself. So that's why you're seeing it on the shock. The bump stop. I mean, obviously they're all, you know, it's not like they're separate. I mean, the bump stops are right there with the shock. I mean, they're basically just on the shaft. So, I mean, if I'm not sure if you know, but I mean, I had them on my car. So basically, it's a shock absorber, and on, they're coilover shock, and basically what you're looking at is you're looking at a bushing that's on the shaft of the shock that's a certain rate, and this and all those kinds of things, stiffness of the shock, just like you would put in your brake pedals and the sim racing pedals or whatever. They have different stiffnesses, and that's the rate of the bushing. And then you have how tall is the bushing is like the range. I mean, is it really tall to where it's going to hit right away, or has it got more of a gap so where it's so how tall is the bushing? And so basically it affects the way the shock reacts, because the bushing is going to hit, and it's going to make the shock do different things. So again, even though that's why of course they have the adjustment with the shock, well, not with the shock but with the mechanical part. But I mean, it's really, as far as the shock, it's all it one affects the other. So that's why I never knew what that was before, but when I did see that and made adjustments on the bump stop rates or ranges, I would see that change. So obviously that's, it's not connected, but it is in a way. So I know I'm sounding kind of confusing, but I'm trying to explain it without showing it as a picture. So like again, I don't think it's terrible. I know my pace. I wish I could be. I would really like to be about a half a second faster consistently, about in the 218s. Um, Kind of disappointing, to be honest. But I also got to have a car that I can race at the end. So, um, of course, the weather. I mean, I'm sure it'd be a little quicker if it was cooler. But just one of those things. You know, things that I would like to try. I mean, I guess I could put more wing to it and try it, uh, but you know, and see if that would help. But you know, I'm not sure if it would help or not. Anybody else interested with the BMW as far as any certain tracks, or I was just going to pick something that was something different because you got, you know, a couple different places, you know, as far as like one faster track, one slower track, or those kinds of things. But I didn't know if anybody was interested in that. I had a request because, and I am curious too about the BMW, just because um, it doesn't react like it used to. So you know, I don't know if they neutered it or what they did, but it doesn't have the performance that it did. But I mean, we could do a few laps, like change just for kicks and giggles. Let's go up to a 10. So see, that brings it down even more. But what's that going to do? Um, it's going to want to understeer even worse going into the corner. So let's just do a few laps. See how understeery it is. I'm not gonna do a long stint or anything, but let's do a few laps and see what the performance is. See if that's something I can look into later. Seems like with almost a lot of these cars, I mean, you got to end up running so much wing to have a car that's decent at the end. So I still left everything else the way we adjusted it, just changed the wing. That's it. So we're gonna go faster or slower? So we're gonna pick it up, or we gonna drop like a rock? That's not too bad. Not too much understeer, because handle that pretty good. I'll see how much we lose on the straightaway. A few hundreds. Not too bad. Tires are gone up. Yeah, about the same, just a few hundreds. I went down one too many gears there. That hurt. Yeah, we'll do one more lap. Let's see, the tires are too warm either too. They're going up too high. Just one more. See if we can do any better. How about that?
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
That's even with the wrong tire pressure in the front. And that's even with my TC stuff turned up. That is surprising. Let's take a look at the tire wear on that and see what's going on. I could go down one more in the back, probably. As far as a negative camber, I'm thinking I could go down one more. Front's perfect. I like that. Front's fine. I could probably go down one more in the front, but I don't want to. But the rear, I probably could go down one more. See, that had... Okay, that's 6 difference. That's 5 difference. So, and I think I did one more lap and faster on this last one. So, and that's 6, and that's 5. So again, it's the same front to rear as far as the wear. But of course, I was going faster than I was there. Let's take a look at Motec and see. I think this is pretty close. I think it's something you can race with. I might have to make another adjustment. Again, this might help. You know, I still ran faster even with the TC2 at 8 and 4. So again, maybe that will help later in the stint, that it won't drop off so bad. I mean, let's take a look and see if there's any difference. See if I have to make another adjustment. Yeah, see? You see it? Dark Knight. See the difference? And that's again from making a big shock change and to the bump stop. Now see, you don't have that spike no more. And mainly the spike, I still say the spike was mainly, I think, the bump stop. But it could have been the combination of the two. That is just, you know, again, I'm just guessing, but I see now that's much improved. Let's see. This all looks pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. This is a little low here. I mean, this is actually a little low. On the rebound, so I think I'll go up on the rebound here. Both of these are kind of low. So, but this is the stuff that I do all the time when I'm making setups. And again, you know, you try some stuff, do a few laps, and once you get something that's decent, that you think that, okay, this is like, it's really, really close. Or it's either good or it's close. This is what you do, and of course, then you go back out and you can do a longer run again. It don't have to be 30 minutes, but a lot of times I'll do, you know, like 15 minutes or something just to see how it goes. If it holds its consistency, and that's what I'm doing to try to make a setup that I know that, you know, and then I check it to make sure that it's, you know, it is what I think it is. But it definitely is time consuming. It takes, you know, and I can be very fast. I mean, trust me, as far as, you know, I'm probably faster than most others as far as, because I make bigger changes, and because of time is always against me. So, and of course I've done this 1,000 times. So I really go, you know, when I'm doing it, you know, just by myself, I'm not streaming or recording or whatever. you know, I can go a lot quicker, but it still takes a lot of time because you just still got to go back and then you got to drive and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and then you got to find something else. So it can really be, it can be a tedious thing. So, um, those need to, it looks like the bump still needs to come down some more though. It's still too high. So, but it felt really good. So I'm just going to make a small change there. Very minute change on the bump on the rear. Um, because at least it's at least the graph looks good for the most part. You can still see it's got a teeny spike coming up. So it's still a little bit there, but I mean, nothing like it was before. So it's still a big improvement. So everything else looks good. And this is what I would call really pretty much dialed in. I mean, it's 99% as far as the shocks and things like that. And those, and you know, when you hear me, like I said, you know, the graphs look really good. That's to me, the graphs look really good on that. That's a good, nice rate. They just look, you know, really solid. So I know this is not the most exciting stuff, but also I just try to show a lot of stuff what I do that, um, and then y'all can see what I do and what I don't do, and you can also implement it yourself. Um, Again, I think I'm going to go down one click on this negative camber here. I'm just going to go down to one click. I think it could use it. Maybe that would actually help steady the rear end a little bit because that's what's oversteery. And I mean, I'd rather have it a little more. I need it more understeery on the rear. I don't need it to. I don't need it to help rotate the car. I need it to actually stay where it needs to, you know, behind the car, not swap ends. So, and you know, and that's the thing, because let's think about it. If let's say the car was a little understeer, let's say the rear end was not helping rotate the car, right? Well, I can always change the brake bias and get the car to rotate and increase my braking as far as so that's always something that you can do on the fly and actually increase, you know, help your lap times. So that's not a major issue. Uh, you know, the issue is at the end of the run, I don't, you know, I want to keep the car as close to consistent as I can. So we'll go look at that really quick. I want to look at the lap and see what this, see what the speed was. And of course, it's still very, you know, very hot also. I mean, well, not hot, but it is not cooler. It's all the way up to 24, maybe up to 25 by now. Somebody needs to give that car a bath. Dang, it looks like I hit the wall or something with the back. Everything's got all black all over it. Looks like I touched the wall or something. Yeah, that's about down 1 mile an hour. It's 164 now. So, you know, just going up that one in the wing. Of course, it could be the temperature too, but. No, so again, you know, what's everybody's opinion? Would you rather have the speed down the straightaway, or would you rather have, you know, almost 2/10 faster? think it's better through here. And with the wing, it keeps the rear end more planted, and then of course I raised the ride height one, so it seemed like it was better through that chicane right there. So, and of course you can make up a lot of time there too. So I'm happy with the outcome. I mean, I think it's decent. Again, um, you know, a 219.0 is getting closer where I want. I mean, before it was a 219.2. So again, not quite 2/10, but almost. We're really close to 2/10. That's a pretty good gain to me. Um, again, that cuts it in half. I still would. I could be more like running 218s consistently, or at least for most of the stint. But you know, it's at least it's made a big step. I think it's gone a good ways, you know, to running better. You see, my fast before was a 219.04. So, so I mean, that's just about what I ran the same time there with the 10 wings. So now let's go ahead. I don't know if you all saw this or not, but um, there's been a couple new cars in here. That's a new one. Saudi Business Machines. There's a couple new liveries in here. I saw that. First you got that one. Oh, you got a couple. Been a couple new ones. I can't remember where there's another one. I thought I saw another one in here somewhere. Was it this one? No, it wasn't that one. It was this one. I thought this was different too. I don't remember seeing this one. Because it's got those are the older ones there, but I don't remember seeing these. And of course, it's got oh no, I guess that's it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's the endurance version. But there's a couple different liveries that I saw that I don't remember seeing before. Um, let's see. Of course, with the Porsche, there was this one, the Pure Racing. I thought that was a cool looking car. There's a couple they added. Was it that? No, and that one, that was there. That was there. And this one, they added a couple different ones too for the dynamic. Couple different, they're all the same, just a little bit different sponsors. And then of course the Huracan, uh, they got that one. I thought that was cool looking. That's a different one. Thought that was kind of cool looking. And of course, like I mentioned before, the Grasser Racing, they added those. And also K-Pack, which I think still looks really nice. Really nice looking. It's got the American flag on the top. So again, I thought it looked really nice. But yeah, they got a couple of different ones in here. But anyway, let's go over to the BMW. I didn't notice any. I don't think there was any new ones for the BMW. I don't remember seeing any of them. Of course, I got my LFM one. All these. That's for being a Patreon. You get these. So I got those for every car. That's the LFM one. Let me see. Of course, these are all the same. I think Rossi's are all the same. All these. There's a few ones that might be a little different, but McDonald's. I don't remember seeing that one. But yeah. Um, these are all the same. Oh, that might be a little different. I don't remember seeing that one. See, that's a different one. Huh. You never know when you're going to catch a different one in here. That's one I like. That's a car I like. Okay, we ran at 219.17 was the fast here, and I'm sure, I don't know if that's probably before at Spa. I guess we could just look at Spa. Yeah, I didn't remember McDonald's either. That one, and then that other one, is, you never know. I mean, it's like they add them just once in a while, I think, with hot fixes or make adjustments. So it's like, oh, what's this? So I'm always checking. I guess it's like a side thing, you know. Sometimes when I'm just taking a break or something, I'm looking at liveries and stuff. And yeah, I don't have a setup, but I do see January 8th is the last time I messed with it. So that was before that's the update. So I haven't even messed with the BMW here with the new update. So take a look. Um, again, knock this down to 55. Well, guess I can leave this pretty much alone. I got to adjust the tires though. I got to do that. So I'm going to adjust the tires. He's got to come down. Do that. Guess we'll leave everything else the same. Just not mess with nothing and just see how messed up it is. So I'm sure it's messed up.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Oh, that's right. I got to adjust my wheel. Oh, wait a minute. See what I had it at. Let's try it from there. Yeah, wheels off. There we go. Better. I got used to the different gear ratios with the BMW. Whoa. Yeah, it's got a little bit too much turning. Take that in second instead of first. Second is such a good, pulls good in second, at least it used to. See if it still does. Whoa. Curious if we get back to a Rouge, let's see if it does any better going through there. Not too bad. See what kind of speed we got down here. monster speed down that straightaway. Tires don't look too bad.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
Do one more lap. Make some adjustments. Ah, dang it. But yeah, for front engine, I really like this BMW. A little too deep. Still room for improvement. Yeah, I like it too. I mean, it's better than the for a 6-cylinder. It's not bad. I mean, I like this all the snarls and stuff. That's where you really just like the Ferrari. I mean, this 6-cylinder too. Of course, it's pretty sure it's a V6, where the BMW is a straight six. But I mean, still, it's got some cool sounds too. Really, the turbos and the turbos and that kind of stuff, and all the snarls and pops, and I like it. Um, needs a couple more clicks there. This needs a good amount here. This is actually pretty good. Leave it there. There. So I see a lot different. I mean, you don't have near the wing in this. Let's look at the tires. Yeah. Yeah. 5 difference there and 4 difference there. So again, a little bit better than the A little bit better than the Porsche. Because it, it was worse than that. Again, you got the toe, which, it's, might take a little bit out of that, put that back. Put a little bit toe in the rear. Take all this out. I'm going to do this too. I'm going to take a lot of this out and see what it does. There. Makes it easier to turn too. Leave this alone. Leave this alone. Now this is where I think it's is not right from before. It's I could feel the diff is causing it to slide some. So definitely gonna take some of the diff out. There, take a few clicks out of the diff. Now that should have it rotate and change directions a little bit better. Let's take a look at Motec. Okay, well that needs to come down some. And mainly this. So again, I think I need to increase the bump stop range some because you can see where it's getting a spike here a little bit. It's not high, but it's just a little. But again, drop the fast bump down. And that. I'll make the adjustment to the bump stops here a little bit later. It's not real bad. Anything that can kind of come up, that can come down. Yeah, see, that can come down. So knock this down a little bit. I'll go and lower this down too, just to see. And the bump needs to come down. All right. And let's increase this, see what it does. There. So keep the same spring rates. It didn't feel too bad, but it changed a lot of other stuff. Diff, shocks, alignment. I think I'll leave it here for right now. I won't mess with this. Definitely mess with tires. They should be closer. So that's pretty good. See what the speed is. $168. Woo! That's 3 mile an hour faster, 3 to 4 faster than the Porsche. BMW always looks really stiff to me, like as far as the body, the chassis. I mean, it doesn't. You don't see it pitch to any corner. I mean, you see, I mean, it just doesn't move compared to a lot of the other cars. It must be a pretty rigid car. So again, maybe that's, you know, you can get to a point where it's too rigid. Whoa! Woo! Boy, man. I think it needs more wing. Yeah, I might have to add a little more downforce to this thing. That's better. it needs a little bit more turn in. It doesn't have enough turn in. Lower the brake bias a little bit and see if it does anything. Yeah, I'm losing time. But yeah, too inconsistent. Tires don't look too bad. You can't downshift near as fast as you used to be able to in this car. You can't. You gotta. It reminds me now of the Porsche or the AMG. You cannot downshift real fast. I think they did that to help with the engine braking and stuff. I think it needs another wing. So we'll there. That looks good. All right. Let's see what it does now. Do a few laps. Much better through there. Much better turn in also. I felt really good through Rouge for the first lap. Yeah, it feels much more driver friendly now than it did. Look at that.
My personal fastest lap. Dang it, lost all my time. I think it's better. Yeah, I think it's better. Let's go over some few little checks. Tire pressures look good. See, I mean, this front engine, and look, three. That's it. Three difference on both sides. Now, you look at the Porsche, and it's 5 and 6 and all that. That's like double. I like the spread. Looks good. And this is front engine. So, still A little confusing. This is the, good setup. I don't think it's, let's check Motec again. I mean, I think it's decent. I'm sure, I know there's more time there, but okay, that needs to come down. Rebound's too high. I already lowered it once. So. It looks like I can go up, actually. Rear, looks like the rebound is better. The bump's better, but still could be. See, this is still a little high. That should be closer. They're updated that setup. It's not too bad. I mean, I'm for right now. I mean, I might even try one more click of wing, maybe. There's a few balance changes that I wouldn't mind changing. Maybe dropping this all the way down if I added a wing, and then dropping this down to the bottom like that. Other than that, that's, maybe still work on the alignment just a little bit, but it's still really close. Because the wear is good as far as front to rear. I like that. So there's nothing wrong with the wear as far as front to rear. So. Let's take a look at the speed. Now we added a wing, one click, so we'll see what it does on speed. Oh yeah, I do that, pretty often actually. Not often, I should say often, not often enough, I should say. As far as doing it against AI. I mean, I like doing that just to get some race and have some fun. And also to see how it races. So I do both. It's 167. I think that's what it was. Yep, 167. So we lost a mile an hour, kind of like we did with the Porsche. But I mean, this thing has speed to give up. I mean, you see, we lost a mile an hour, but look how much time we gained. Gained like 3 or 4 tenths. And I'm gonna go hit the restroom for a second. I'll be right back while you guys are watching this. It's a pretty car, isn't it? I like that livery. Glad I found it for the M4. I mean, I know it was originally on the M6, but all right. So, of course, I will put any of the setup links, setups that I've done today. I'll put them in the description. Anybody got any other track? We can do a AI race sometime. I wonder about Paul Ricard, since they got the LFM. That's where they are right now. Of course, the big tricks there, I even ran faster than I did before. So, by a few tenths. So, and that was still with, not a qualifying thing. So, that's good. So let's say, is anybody interested in the Paul Ricard? Since see, I ran a 55.0 there with the BMW. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't done a setup for this place either. Not a revised one. Let's see. Let's see. Let's just throw something at it. I won't do that to that. All right. All right. Let's just make a few laps, see what it does.
Green light. Give it all you can.
Yeah, I've always liked Paul Ricard. I mean, I know a lot of people hate this place, but I don't think it's that bad. See what kind of speed we got through here. see what the tire temps or pressures are. Get those dialed in. One more lap.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
The rear tires need to come down, but that's about it.
Well done, mate. Your fastest lap so far.
Not bad. I said I need to make some tire adjustments, though. It's just and this is such a hard place because you got to have it right at the max because it cools down so much going down the long straightaway that then your pressures are too low. So you got to be so careful because you want them right near the right near the max, pretty much. So here I'll probably, these need to come down. There. But let's see. Yeah, look at that. So it doesn't feel too bad though, really, to be honest. I mean, it's uh, let's check Motec and see what it says. Too bad. get the graph a little bit better. It's not really too bad, to be honest. I mean, it's not perfect, but needs to come down. Come down. That needs to, the bump definitely needs to come down. That's closer. I mean, I'm sure it's not perfect, but it feels pretty good. It feels pretty racy. I might need to add a little bit more on the steering, which I hate doing, but I don't know. Maybe not. I hate adding too much because then I got to sit there and you got to crank the wheel like crazy, but those fast right-hand turns, it's good to slow it down a little bit. Well, let's look at, I already did. Yeah. Yeah. There's only a couple tenths off my fast, so that's not too bad. I probably was qualifying in better conditions. I'll go up one more. Slow it down a little bit. Slow the steering down a little bit. All right. Close enough. Let's see if it translates into a race. I'll do 15 minutes. All right. Everything's maxed out. Not maxed, but 24 cars is enough. AI is 100. Got a little bit of different cars in here. Probably got more fuel than they do, but
Stay in double file.
see what we can do. This draft in here makes a big difference. See if we get killed.
Green light, green light. Go, go, go. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
See if we can keep up. Yeah, they're flying. Tires don't look too bad. Hopefully they'll stay there. Ah, a little too deep. That hurt.
Well done, mate. Your fastest step so far.
Hang on, lost the draft. That's gonna hurt.
Warning for exceeding track limits.
Yeah, I figured I'd do that. Tires look just about right. Dang, they're running lower 54s, 5420s. Woo! That's going. Bentley's right up on me. Bill's really balanced really well though so far.
We are at the halfway mark. Keep pushing. Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Dang, it's a good time for me. It's probably a personal best. If I could keep it up, I'm not getting any draft either.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
That's a pretty good time for me. Especially with no draft. Yeah, Bentley's staying back there within a second. Those Nicky T, he's only back about 1.5 seconds.
They're still hanging with me. Yeah, that Aston Martin seems like it closes down drafting down the straightaway. Right, he's right there. Little deep there.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Oh, they're running faster than me by a couple tenths. I mean, behind me. Dang it. Too aggressive with the throttle. Ah, too deep.
The leader has finished the race. Alright, checkered flag. Good job. You did the best you could.
Sure,
Now
yep.
bring the car back.
They were right on my bumper. Mistake. Getting ready to go down the long straightaway. That was a mistake on my part. See, 20th place. It looked like it had the fastest lap. Yeah, 20th. Dang. He must have had like a mega, 153.95. Good grief. Wow. Yeah, but that was fun. It was okay. Yeah, I mean, again, it probably I need to find a couple more tenths to really be able to challenge them, where I can, get in their draft and stay there. Once you lose a draft, man, you're gonna lose a tenth or so easy, right there. But that's what the AIs. I like it. I mean, they're tough now. I mean, they didn't used to be as tough, but I think they're even harder now since the update. They've gotten faster, and I mean. Of course, the biggest thing with them is they're consistent. They're not like us humans, so they're always within a few tenths of it. So that's the thing. I mean, it really makes you if you have a one bad lap, you're going to lose a ton of time. So it really tries to make you be consistent. And like I said, they caught up to me. The guys behind me were running quicker, and they're at the last lap. They were on my bumper. So I don't know. I don't think it's. I got through it. Y'all saw me on the stream. It's not like I had to do 500, restarts or something. One thing, boom. So, I mean, I wish I had a restart button in LFM a few times. Multiple times in LFM. I'd love to have a restart. As they can act some pretty crazy stuff there, just as bad as AI. Some of them people, I mean, some guys in LFM, man, they go for the jugular or something on them. I mean, they try to win the race in the first corner. Again, but I'll put this. We'll look at the setup. Let's look at the tires. See how bad they were worn. Now, see, that was a hard 15 minutes, and look at that. That's not that bad. That's 6 there, and how about 9 there? But a little worse. But that's not with a lot of downforce either, because I only have 2. So I mean, obviously, you're trying to get you're wearing the tires harder because you don't have the downforce to stick it. But no graining or anything. Wear looks really good. Really good spread. Nice and close. Not too bad. So again, of course, I will make this a setup and put this in the description. Well, let's look at the I do this again all the time. I'm always looking at, like I said, it's like chasing your tires. I just look at it just to make sure any last adjustments. It's not too bad. No, it looks good. Right at 50. I mean, they're really close. It's a little over 50. I think this could go down one more. Just one click. Let's see. Not too bad. Still a little high here. Yeah. So again, this needs to come down just to. Let me look at something here. Yeah. So go down a little bit more. So again, I think just a few little adjustments, but that makes it a little bit better. But again, I'll make this a setup. And of course, I will put it in the description. So I hope you all had a good time. Thank you, Dark Knight, for your participation, and I had a good time. I appreciate everybody's participation. I hope you give me a like and subscribe, and of course, I'll put this stuff in the setups in the description so y'all can mess with those on your own. And of course, I might do another stream tomorrow or something. I hope y'all check it out, and I hope y'all have a great day and a great weekend coming up. Y'all take care. See ya.